All right, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Big waves to you. Good to see you. Get them both. Hey, two hands always makes you smile more. So get if you get them going. If you get them going, good to see everybody. Hope you guys are having a great day out there. And just a reminder, if you're joining us, if you're new to this is I always like every now and then to talk about the history of the Coach's Corner. So we're shut down right at the start of the pandemic, okay? When everybody went home. And I had a friend of mine, Myra Miles, told me and Andrea, I got an idea. Let's start a word of the day while we're all in our home, right? And let's breathe some positivity. Well, guess what? That was years ago. So I'm not good at a lot, but consistency, we've hung in there, right, Andrea, over the years. So we are here with this amazing community, picking a word of the day just to expand on. But what I found is it almost aligns us. It gets us ready for the day. And we need that in this world, right? The ups and downs of a day, the challenges, the pitfalls, like we need to go into it equipped, ready to go. So, this word for today, and we didn't see any birthdays out there today. So, if it is your birthday, we don't want to miss you because we've got some beautiful voices on here. We'd love to sing to somebody. But the word for today, I think, Marlene, this is your word for the year, and that is worth. Worth. You don't have to raise your hand, but have you ever struggled with worth, like in your own head, like growing up as a kid, maybe as an adult, where you're like, am I really worthy? Am I smart enough? Should I go here? Do I even belong here? Like, is this my group? I know I have. I've told you my story. As an elementary kid, I was pulled out of class for reading, for writing, for speaking. And I was told, hey, this is what you're not good at. And so it sent me down a path of going, man, when it comes to school, I'm not good. I'm not good at writing. I'm not good at reading. I'm not good at speaking. And even today, when I hear my own voice, I cringe inside. Like I'm just like, oh my gosh. Like when I hear the way I sound once I speak, and I'm just being honest with you, like we all, if we're honest with ourselves, there's probably areas of our life worth is something that really affects mentally ourselves. And so here's what I want to do. Hopefully, this will encourage you today. The definition of it is the value, the level at which someone or something deserves to be valued or rated, right? That's worth. But here's the thing I came across is you will like your value doesn't decrease because of someone else's inability to see how special you are. Like God made all of us unique, different, special within. So guess what? Just because somebody might not see that doesn't mean that the power's not there. And I was just thinking, I'm like, we've got to know our worth, and we've got to, like, as we're going through life, if we've got to have the courage that if I'm sitting at a table with people that disrespect me or don't see my worth, I've got to pull the chair back and dismiss myself. Okay? Doesn't mean I don't love them. Doesn't mean I don't care about them. Some of them might be family members, but I have to move the chair back. Sorry. But I got to move the chair back and I've got to dismiss myself because my worth is so important. Okay. And when I start realizing my worth, yes, I'm special. Even though as a kid I struggled and I did this and I did that, that story of that could propel me to other things. And to this day, whether I'm in Milan, Italy, speaking on stage to thousands of people, or I'm in Tokyo, Japan, my heart is like this because that little childhood person named Brent that what like still at times tells myself, oh my goodness, you don't belong here. And so what happens when we fight and realize our worth? We're like fighting against ourselves. Well, number one, our relationships improve. Like, because we know who we are. It's okay to be yourself, right, Pat? Like me and you are different, but guess what? God made us different. So good for him, right? So we can like it's okay to accept our differences and go, you know what? But when we do that, our relationships improve. The biggest thing for me is you stop worrying about what other people think. I deal with people all the time, like we're talking about doing maybe a Facebook Live or an Instagram reel or something. And what holds them back, 99% of it is what they perceive the world might see when they see that reel or that live or that this, right? So it's really nice when we realize our worth, we're like, it's okay. I'm not really worried about what they think. I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this because I'm worthy to be able to make this happen. Number three, our self-confidence improves. Like today, because I think about myself, I've challenged my limits. Thank goodness for great mentors that's had me challenging my limits. My self-confidence has improved over the years from that little boy that was pulled out of class for reading, writing, speaking. You become the person you've always wanted to be. Number four, like we all have a goal for ourselves. We all want to do something. Like Pat, you're in the middle of my screen this morning, but I think about Pat. I think about her journey over the last year, year and a half. And I'm so proud of her. Like she is like it's unbelievable. Her health transformation and what she, her before and after. And it's like, I want her to shout it from the rooftops because that story is someone else's opportunity that's looking for that, right? So here's the beauty of it. You don't have to prove yourself anymore. When you know your worth, you don't have to prove yourself to other people. You know your road, your own. And you're okay if they don't know it, they don't understand it. It's okay. It's your road, it's your journey. And I believe your happiness increases. Have you ever been around somebody that's just really struggles day to day, staying upbeat, positive, like happy? There's probably some things going on there, and it possibly could come back to worth, right? So, and here's the last one. You live a life more abundant when you know your worth. What does that mean? That means you, the things that really matter, you really take it in. Like when you know your worth, you're like, hey, next hour, I'm going to go out and go for an exercise because that's important to me. Hey, I've been on Zooms, I've been doing all this, but you know what? It's time for a break and have a cup of coffee for me. Right? And so you just become a more abundant, like it's okay, there's time. And guess what we're not going to do? We're never going to get to the end of the to-do list. So if anybody out there is the check mark people on your to-do list and it drives you nuts when you leave one like unchecked for the day, guess what? Let it go because you're never going to get to the end. You might do it one day, but the other 6 days of the week, you're like, it's driving you nuts. So guess what? Live an abundant life and go, hey, those I'll get to the next day. I did all I can do for today. So, Andrea, I went way over. This is your time. Sorry.
This was beautiful. So first of all, I love that today was the day that we got this. So I've been doing the words, we've been picking the words in the order that you sent it to us. And how incredible, Marlene, congratulations. Today was her 4,500th morning momentum Zoom this morning. And we got to do your words. So I think that was worthy of saying something about it. And I love that I am known for the leaky eyes because Pat just said it should have been her word. She had leaky eyes like me, sprung a leak like Andrea. So I can't help it. I'm a crier. I love it, but I think that's super cute. Anyway, so the quote that I found, and I thought that this was I see in the chats like people are like, we should just repeat this one, watch the recording. I think we could do this word like once a month and we would all get something from it, because I feel like this is kind of universal. I don't think there's many people walking around the world every day. Maybe there's some, but I don't know them, that just think they're so worthy in every single room they walk into. And man, we should. So the quote that I found that I kind of spurred me today was, "You will always attract what you believe you are worth." And I thought, oh, well, we better clean up what we believe if we want to attract better things, right, into our life. So that's what I looked into, and I'll try to run through this really quickly. But how can we feel more worthy? And first of all, we got to work on that self-esteem. We got to work on that confidence. And sometimes people will say, well, how do I get more confidence? And my personal advice is, go do something hard. Go do something that you thought you couldn't do. Confidence comes from action, and confidence grows our worth. So that's the first thing. If you think that you can't read a book a month this year, well, go read a book a month this year. If you think that you can't run a marathon, well, talk to Lance, talk to Billy, get a good plan, and run a marathon this year. Like, start now, and we could all do it by the end of the year, right? Even me, maybe. Anyway, pick something and go do it. Whatever that thing may be, go do something hard. Next, if we want to grow our worth, go make a difference. Volunteer, donate, look for a need, and find a way that you can fill it. Right? I think about, I'll just tell you a little tiny thing. This Christmas, our plan was to just grab somebody and scoop them up. And I'll tell you, I've been on both ends of the spectrum, okay, where somebody grabbed my family and scooped us up, and Christmas happened because of them. And so I was super excited that I just looked for somebody and we scooped them up and we made Christmas happen. And man, it made a difference in their little household, but I'll tell you, it made a bigger difference in my little household. What my kids talked about, our dinner that night, like all of those things, it built something in us, helped us feel a little bit more worthy, not just toot our horn, but just something that we can do. Next is to know our values and live by them. When we are bending in places that are super important to us, not on purpose, not because we want to, but just because things happen, that really can lower our feeling of worth, because we're going against our core. So know what your values are and have some boundaries around them, live by them. Next is to do your best, even at the worst. Okay. So if today your job, oh, gross myself. Anyway, we're just going to say it. If your job is to scrub all the toilets in the high school bathroom, okay, so you guys all have been there, right? So we've all been into one. If that's your job today, well, absolutely do your best at it. Make that whole place shine and make it so that people want to go in there. Whatever it is, just do your best at it. Bring pride into what you do, because that helps you feel more worthy. And I'll end here, is accept yourself, warts and all. And that doesn't mean we shouldn't try to improve. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't try to do that self-development and get better and do the hard things and all of that. But when we do that little self-evaluation, say, okay, here are my strengths. Here are my lesser strengths. I'm going to grow here, but I'm going to accept all of this right here, right now, to the best of my ability, so that I can feel more worthy throughout my day. So that's what I had this morning. Great word, Marlene. I'm going to have to watch the recording.
This was a great lesson, and everybody's going to go clean their toilet today too. Like, we're all excited about that. So, uh, listen, guys, have a great Wednesday. We love each and every one of you, and we hope you have the most amazing day ever. We'll see you back tomorrow.
Love you guys. See you back
Love you
tomorrow.
guys. Thank you,
Love you
Marlene.
guys.
Great word.
Marlene,
Have a
bye.
beautiful
Everyone.
Wednesday.
Thank you
We
so
love
much.
you.
See you.